professional in the lending aspect. You're not the professional in the appraiser or the inspections, but letting them know, like,
Mm-hmm.
I will get you those answers from the inspector, from the appraiser, or the lender or title company, and, kind of being that resource for them in all areas throughout the whole process.
My name is Kevin McIntosh, and this is The Closing Table, where we talk to experts about their experience in real estate all across the country. Let's go. Welcome back to The Closing Table. I am your host, Kevin C. McIntosh. And joining us on this episode, per usual, we have another top producing real estate agent, Michaela Breen. How you doing, Michaela?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good. Thanks for being here, taking time out your schedule. We know you could be closing deals, but you're here with us sharing that knowledge instead, so we appreciate that. So I'd like to break the ice first and foremost with a quick game, Michaela, if you don't mind. For you, I have something called Fill in the Blank. And it is just a few sentences all related to real estate, but they are incomplete. I need you to fill in these blanks with some context, if you don't mind. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Let's do this. All right. First one. My real estate market is mostly affected by blank.
Inventory.
Smart. I believe blank would make the real estate industry better.
Inventory.
Great one. No wrong answers. Blank is how... Oh, please.
We just don't have a lot of inventory on the market. So that would definitely make it better.
Yeah. No, that's the solution. Blank is how you add value to your home.
How long you got? I would say curb appeal is a great way to add value to your home. Sweat equity.
Okay. Good answers. Last one. A common obstacle to obtaining a home is blank.
Do you know what I'm going to say?
I know it.
I'll switch it up.
I know it. Oh.
We'll say financing.
Yeah.
That's a common obstacle. Financing can be an obstacle.
No, hey, I'm with low inventory too. We'll accept that too. That's funny. Oh man, as soon as I read it, I was like, oh my God, I already know the answer. Oh, that was perfect. Thank you, Michaela. That was a fun way to start the episode. Breaking the ice right there, filling the blank. Appreciate you for playing that game. So now, let's get into who you are. I'd like for us to take 60 seconds. If you can explain who you are outside of real estate, talk to us.
Yeah. So outside of real estate, I am married of 7 years, and we've been together for 10 years. I have 2 fur babies, nice. 2 dogs. So I'm a dog mom. And one is a Great Dane, so he's a whopping 180 pounds. And then, he'll be 5 this year. And then I have a mutt who my husband and I actually rescued in North Carolina when we lived there. So she'll be 7 this year.
Nice. There you go. Congratulations on that. Beautiful family, it sounds like. Something that actually motivates you through the day and whatnot. So let's talk about the business now. This is what we're here for. And I'd like you to pretty much dive into it by starting off with your current market. If you can describe it geographically for our audience who may have never been there, describe where you are geographically, and then go into some of the real estate details economically.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm actually located in Michigan. I primarily work the Grand Rapids area and surrounding. So, Granville, Wyoming, Hudsonville, Caledonia areas. We are sitting at about an average price point for, the Grand Rapids area of about $290,000. We have days on market are sitting at about 10. So got to move quick. Be ready. And
Yeah.
then again, going right back to that inventory, I'm sure this is a widespread issue just with how the market is right now, but we're sitting at 0.4 months of inventory right now. And that's actually lower than 2022. So 2022 was crazy, but now we're
Oh
actually
wow.
lower in inventory currently. Yeah.
That really speaks to how different markets are going to be affected differently, right? Because
Yeah.
I mean, you talk to someone else and they'll say, yeah, it's still a seller's market. Don't get me wrong, but they're saying, yeah, we've been seeing it ease a little bit more. It's not as hectic as it once was. Not as many offers, not as many days on market. Prices are, offers are a little bit different. But coming from your perspective, that's not necessarily the case. It hasn't
Yeah.
necessarily
And we
leveled
did,
off as much, I'll say.
yeah, and we did have a small break for probably, I'll say maybe a month
Mm-hmm.
of, okay, there's a little bit more inventory, there's less buyers because they were kind of dropping off, just the competition was too aggressive. So
Right.
we
Yep.
were in a small area where it was like, okay, we're not seeing as many offers on houses. We're not seeing, offering up your firstborn child. you know, we were seeing that for a
An
small amount of
arm and a
time.
leg, right?
Yeah, a kidney, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. So yeah, we were seeing that for a brief time, but it's definitely shifted back to what it is now.
Got you, got you, got you. Earlier, you already spoke on the fact that you are a dog mom. So with that being said, we know a lot of people. I'm pretty sure you've probably had clients who also have pets who are extensions of their family. When dealing with these clients, can you talk about the type of wisdom, the knowledge that you use to help them find a property that is sufficient for them and their pet's lifestyle?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll go ahead and just kind of overall, because I love me some dog parents, cat parents, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
However, I treat all of my clients kind of the same. So initially, if you have for babies, that's awesome, but I want to go down to the, target of it. What are you specifically looking for? And so it doesn't
For
necessarily
sure.
have to be people that have dogs or cats or anything like
Yeah.
that. So, of course, if they do have dogs,
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the extra mile and I'll see, are there any dog parks in the area, things of that sort. But overall, just kind of seeing what they want in general in a home and area, neighborhood, and, going at it that way.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, doing your due diligence, I would imagine. I'm starting to see. I feel like I'm starting to see a lot more dog parks. A lot more cities, municipalities, or even just communities are starting to be more aware of the dog owners or people who may have certain pets, and building those structures that'll help them, give them an area where they can be free. So it's
Absolutely.
good to hear people actually making adjustments. Right.
Yeah.
What about a time where the closing date is a very close and the most important date in a transaction if you want to ask me. But has there been a situation where you had a transaction and the closing date was pushed back, maybe to either a situation that a mistake that was made on your client's end or your end, honestly, or maybe some uncontrollable factors that may have pushed the date back?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, closing can get pushed back for a multitude of reasons. That's always something that we try to
Yeah.
avoid, but ultimately it can happen and it will happen, like I said, for many reasons. But in this instance, this
Mm.
example, it was simply just for my clients not getting documents to their lender in a timely manner. And
Right.
ultimately, kind of what we took away, the team, because it really does take a village to close a transaction, your title companies, your lenders, your realtor, inspectors, appraisers, all of that. So just making sure that everybody's on the same page. And me as, the realtor reaching out to my clients on a daily basis, asking them if they have any additional questions, maybe questions on the documents. And if I don't have the answer myself, making sure I'm reaching out to whichever team member is, going to answer that question and accurately, then making sure to
Right.
get them the answer that they deserve.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that seems to help a lot. I mean, it would only make sense. I mean, you will have any type of curveball coming at you during this situation. It's not like like all transactions are going to be super smooth. You have to, and then the longer that you're experienced in it too, you know how to deal with certain situations, right? You know,
Absolutely.
you can handle it yourself rather than reaching out. But in the beginning or whatever case, whether you've been doing it 20 or 30 years, it's always good to have resources available, a brokerage or a broker or someone who you can
Yeah.
actually get some more information from.
And being
In
understanding
the
too.
beginning, you have.
Oh,
Oh no, please.
being understanding too that like as a realtor, your clients are going to come to you
Mm-hmm.
with all questions. They trust you the most, right? They spend the most
Oh
time with
yeah.
you. So being accepting of those questions, but also like educating your clients that you aren't the professional in the lending aspect. You're not the professional in the appraiser or the inspections, but letting them know like
Mm-hmm.
I will get you those answers from the inspector, from the appraiser or the lender or title company, and kind of being that resource for them in all areas throughout the whole process.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect too. And that brings me to my next question because I would imagine some of that is being discussed in what you offer as a buyer's consultation, right?
Yep.
A lot of their questions that they may have. So can you talk about that buyer's consultation and maybe an example of when you help someone who thought of the process of being overly complicated and how you use that opportunity to help them understand it better? And can you talk about some of the key information that is discussed during that consultation?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think a buyer's consultation is so valuable, not only for the client to kind of understand the process, but also for me as the realtor. Especially if I don't know them right off the
Mm-hmm.
bat, maybe they're a lead or something, getting to know them and digging in deep to, what their motivation is of buying a house or why they need to sell a house. So sitting down with them either on a Zoom meeting, I have Zoom meetings set up for my clients, or I can meet them in person at like a coffee shop or something and I'll buy them coffee. So digging into questions like I said before, just what's your motivation, background, getting to know them too. Like if they're a couple, how long have you been together? Have you owned a home before? Things of that sort. And it is valuable for the client because, especially a new homeowner, I work with a lot of first time home buyers. So sitting down with them and explaining the whole process, it can be very overwhelming, right? Especially if you're in a house and you're trying
Yeah.
to absorb the information of the home. But then there's your realtor, like, yeah, and then your next step is this, and your next step is this, and you need this much money, and it's like, whoa, we need to take like 10 steps
I
back.
know, right?
So making sure you set that time aside, we can look at houses, take a look at it, and absorb that experience. But then this, first
Hmm.
time home buyer consultation needs to be its own experience just because of how much information is involved in it. So making sure, like, hey, if you need to take notes, if you have any questions right now, but also throughout the whole process, giving them a home buyer
Right.
guide to kind of recap everything that we go over in the meeting. That way, like, if they have questions at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock at night or something, and they're like, gosh, I just don't remember what she said about this, they can shoot me a text, they can give me a call, and we can kind of recap what that is.
There it is. There it is. You gotta deal with some pretty patient clients too in that matter because you know you don't want to be pressured and into finding out certain information that you may not be privy to at the time. So to have someone that you open the floodgates or you open a door to let them know that you are available, I guess 24/7, even though you may not answer the phone at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, but hey, you can still shoot me a text,
Don't do that.
email, or something like that.
Yeah.
I'll find that solution for you. Yeah, I know, right? Be respectful about it.
Yeah.
But on the other end, there are times where you may have to deal with difficult clients. So, do you have any examples of where you had to deal with a difficult or demanding client, and then how you managed to kind of bring that full circle and close the deal at the end?
Kevin, I feel like I need a yoga session before we go into this one. Whew. Yes,
Let's
I
do
have,
it.
one in particular, and it was definitely a learning experience. I feel like we as realtors, we do have that like one
Mm.
situation where it's like, whoo, I'm gonna remember that one. You know what I mean? But um going through that at the time, I was like, listen, real estate, I don't know about you, but now that like a couple years have gone by, I've been
Mm,
able to kind of reflect and actually take some learning lessons from it. So I'm grateful for that. But yeah, so ultimately, it was the most difficult client I've ever dealt with. And in the beginning of my career, actually, I was told that not every client is going to be a good fit for you. And I kind of, at the beginning, I was like,
right.
absolutely not. I'm going to work with everybody. I'm going to mesh with everybody. It's going to be good. And very humbled with this
Hmm.
situation. That was not the case. So I, ultimately throughout the process, they were very difficult. However, keeping that boundary and setting expectations throughout the process of how you as the realtor and the professional and honestly a human being is going to be treated and talked to is so important, and also reminding them throughout the process that
Hmm.
you are the expert in this case. You hired me to do this job, and you have to
Right.
trust me to do that. I will get it done, but you have to trust me and trust the process as well. So just being very level headed, even if they're escalated, your job is to de escalate. So just, and also like reaching out to them and asking them, how can I better serve you? Do you see this going a different way? Is there anything else that I need to do? Taking constructive criticism from your clients is not a bad thing. It's great, because you want to
Mm,
serve them the best way that you
yeah.
can.
Yeah.
And that's open communication throughout the whole process.
Yes, yes. And so, where would you say this happened? At what point in your career was this? Within within year 3, within year 5, or something like that? Like
Within
earlier
year
years?
3, yeah, like I was
Okay,
pretty new. I want to say year 2, actually. End of year 1, maybe year
okay,
2.
okay.
Um, yeah.
And I asked that because that is a very common range for a lot of agents, or at least guests on the show, because I think it was a specific statistic that I saw from National Association of Realtors, but that 3 to 5 year, if you can, they say if you can make it over that 3 to 5 year hump, then it's usually just pretty much turnkey from there.
Yeah.
That's when all the turmoil, all the bad situations come. Plus, that's when you actually working on building your leads, building that
Yeah.
clientele. So then eventually, if you get over all those problems and you build that clientele and you get past that year 5, usually you know how to solve most problems. You're getting referrals instead of looking for leads, and
Yeah.
it's pretty much just a snowball effect from there. And when you said that, that's what I thought of. So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely. And
good that you got through that.
yeah,
Applause.
and real estate is it's not like a one trade career. You know what I mean? You are constantly learning,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
constantly
yeah.
learning. I know agents that have been in the business for 30, 40, 50 years, and they're still learning per transaction. Yes, you do know the majority of things and you've tackled a lot of situations, but there's so many different things throughout a transaction that can come up that you're constantly learning from. So the more
Mm-hmm.
experience, the better.
Yeah. No, well said. Well said right there. You should always be learning and have continued education in any field. To be honest
Absolutely.
with you, I don't know too many fields where it's not eventually evolving and changing in some type of way. So I don't necessarily know your situation as far as being a homeowner or not, but let's just build this scenario. You are an aspiring homeowner in 2023 right now.
Mhm.
Knowing what you know and the resources that are available currently, what approach would you take to owning your first home? Excuse me.
Woo. Well, to kind of give some background on it, and so that I do own a home. My husband and I
Mm-hmm.
actually bought our
Mm-hmm.
first home at 22 years old, and the market was
Nice.
definitely, we were moving back from North Carolina, and we were looking in like the primary area that I service right now. And that area is hot. very hot. And it was when we moved back too. So we were still going like 30, 40 over asking price, offering up your firstborn child, maybe a kidney, whatever that may be. So it was still very aggressive, but we ultimately ended up going to the outskirts. So we got a really good deal on our first home. However, being a homeowner or, aspiring homeowner in 2023, things that I would do differently is I would ask all the questions. I relied so heavily on our realtor at the time, and he was amazing. I wasn't licensed at the time, so we used a family friend, and he was absolutely amazing. He was great, treated us like his own children. But looking back then to like what I know now, I knew nothing then. So, really asking your realtor all the questions. No question is a dumb question. Ask away. And, not being afraid to shop around. That if that means title companies, if that means lenders, there's going to be different fees associated with different, people. So.
Right. Great insight. Great insight. I would definitely agree with that. Don't just run with the first lender or the first title company. Like, do your research. Everybody charges different fees, different interest rates, and all of that. So well played. Well said. Well, thank you so much, Michaela, for pulling up a chair and being a guest right here on the closing table. We appreciate you for sharing your extensive knowledge. If you can, at this point, if you have any last words and or want to tell people how to reach out to you, please do so now.
Yeah, so you can reach me via email if you would like, michaelabreen5@gmail.com. My Facebook is also available, Michaela Jade Breen, and Instagram as well, Michaela Breen Realtor.
There it is. There it is. Thank you so much, Michaela. We appreciate you. And for our YouTube audience watching right now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, this is your chance to make us both proud. Hit that like button for us. Make sure you also share and subscribe to our channel. And if you are listening on Apple, Spotify, or any of the podcast platforms, please do the same. Give us a like, a 5-star rating, and subscribe for our latest content. Michaela, I'd like to leave our audience with a question before they leave the chat. So this is for you, audience. Don't log out yet. I want you to think about this. If you are a dog owner, a pet owner, do you take your pets with you while you are searching for a home? Why or why not? Don't tell us now. Leave it in the comments below. Besides that, I'll talk to you next time.